Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State government insists on proper documentation for housing transactions. Nigerian Navy uncovers 2 illegal refining sites in Delta State. On the foreign scene, Australia appoints special envoy to tackle anti-Semitism. And in sport, Rivers United coach holds first training session in preparation for 2024-2025 season. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. In a bid to eradicate fraud in transfer of home ownership and protect the interests of allottees in case of loss of home ownership documents, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing, Bolaho Turiola, has advised members of the public that henceforth all applications relating to transfer of home ownership are to be accompanied with evidence of home ownership, search conduct result, and a valid means of identification in cases of loss of home ownership document. Toriola unveiled this during a strategic management meeting in Alausa. According to him, an allottee who applies for transfer of ownership must accompany his or her application with letter of allocation, payment receipt, and a valid means of identification to be submitted to the Office of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing. He said the move is to ascertain the genuineness of claims of ownership by applicants for proper transfer, which has become necessary in view of the increased incidence of false claims uncovered by the ministry. Turela warned that the ministry will not process any application that does not include the aforementioned documents. Lagos State government has concluded arrangements to remove the critically distressed building of Our Lady Queen of Peace Catholic Church in the Bagada area of Lagos for failing structural integrity tests and showing visible signs of distress. Speaking on the development, the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Enterprise Geographical Information System, AGIS, Olajide Babatunde, said this has become expedient because the building has failed the structural integrity tests and is showing visible signs of distress. Babatunde said this while on a routine inspection of the church building, which had been sealed by the State Building Control Agency to ensure that agreements with the church are strictly adhered to. The special advisor reiterated the state's commitment to safeguarding the lives and properties of the citizenry through consistent monitoring, enforcement, and identification of illegal, distressed, and non-conforming structures. He enjoined Lagosians to report all forms of illegality in their locality to any of the 57 offices of LAPSCA spread across the state for appropriate action. Lagos State government is set to hold Afropolice Lagos 2024, a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and QDAS Center. Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Toke Benson Awoyinka, stated that the event seeks to celebrate creativity, innovation and community, transforming Lagos into a vibrant hub of artistic and technological excellence. Benson Awoyinka said Afropolice Lagos 2024, scheduled to take place towards the end of October through to early November 2024, will transform Oniko's Main Street, J.K. Rando Road, into a lively arts and tech assembly. She noted that the 9-day festival will culminate in a curated marketplace over the weekend, where participants will showcase their local and international innovations and works. Now to the rest of the stories. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Delta has uncovered 2 illegal refining sites in the coastal communities of Ajasolo and Obukoko in the Warri South local government area of Delta State. The Joint Task Force, codenamed Operation Delta Safe, also announced the arrest of 4 suspects and the recovery of 48,000 liters of stolen crude oil in River State. Commander NNS Delta Abba Mushin, who was represented by the base operations officer Patrick Ali, led naval personnel to the Lagos site where 5 metallic storage tanks, 4 ovens and 5 dugout pits were uncovered. Addressing journalists shortly after, Hussein made it known that a suspect was apprehended with a wooden boat with crude oil well heads were also vandalized. He warned oil thieves and other criminals operating in the maritime space to desist or face the full wrath of the law. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has tasked the National Assembly to work with the Tripartite Committee on the new minimum wage to establish mechanisms for regular and systematic review of wage levels to ensure they keep pace with inflation and cost of living. President of NLC, Joe Ajaero, made the call in a goodwill message delivered at the National Retreat on Labour Reforms and the Quest for a Living Wage in Nigeria, a focus on legislative interventions organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, in Abuja. Ajaero urged the lawmakers to review and update the labour laws to reflect the realities of today's economy and protect the people and encourage continuous investment in education and vocational training to equip the workforce with the skills needed to thrive in a dynamic and evolving job market. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has called on Nigerians, especially those who performed the just concluded Hajj, to register their complaints and suggestions on services rendered during the exercise. The Commission said pilgrims who participated or paid to participate in the 2024 Hajj or Umrah and who have complaints or comments against an individual or institution that rendered services should forward same to the Commission for appropriate action. NACON added that the complaints, comments or suggestions should be written with author's full address and delivered to its Abuja office. Now to foreign news. Australia has appointed a special envoy to combat anti-Semitism and preserve social cohesion amid rising community tension over the Israel-Gaza war. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced lawyer and businesswoman Gillian Segal would consult with community leaders and discrimination experts to advise the government. It follows in the footsteps of countries like the United States, Canada, Greece, and the United Kingdom, which have all had similar positions for years. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East has become a volatile political issue in Australia. It has resulted in protests from both Jewish and Muslim communities, as well as a sharp uptick in Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. The Prime Minister said the appointment of Segal, who has headed several key bodies representing the Jewish community and served in leadership roles in the education and banking sectors, is a critical step in easing friction. In our sport, Rivers United coach Finidi George has swung into action, taking charge of his first training session in Port Harcourt as the club begins preparation for the 2024-2025 season. The 53-year-old was appointed last week Wednesday following his resignation as the head coach of the Super Eagles last month. In the training photos shared, Finidi was spotted dishing instructions to the players while he was also seen discussing with his technical crew, including coach Evans Ogeyi, who led the team until the end of last season. Finidi, who signed a 2-year deal with the club, has revealed that his immediate target is to return the team to the continent next season. Rivers United played in the CAF Confederation Cup last season but could not go past the quarter-final stage. They also finished 8th in the Nigeria Professional Football League with 53 points. And that was the news at 10. Just before we go, carry out proper and adequate checks on your vehicles before setting out. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 61,000 units of single-door composite furniture for secondary schools? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. As part of efforts to get more residents to enroll for the Ilera Eco scheme, the Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA, and the Lagos State Residents Registration Agency, LASDRA, have collaborated to ease the registration process for the state's social health insurance. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Delta has uncovered 2 illegal refining sites in the coastal communities of Ajasolo and Obukoko in the Warri South local government area of Delta State. Also told you that Australia has appointed a special envoy to combat anti-Semitism and preserve social cohesion amid rising community tension over the Israel-Gaza war. And in sport, Rivers United coach Finidi George has swung into action, taking charge of his first training session in Port Harcourt as the club begin preparations for the 2024-2025 season. For contact at the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is news broadcast compiled by Kayode Mafolashiri. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.